Hello YouTube, this is Kolbot Forever, giving you another build suggestion, this time for the Hammer Paladin. I've been asked to do this a few different times, so I figured, why not, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll start off with the Mercenary, and that is going to be an Act 2 Nightmare Defensive Mercenary. We want to get this so we can get the Cold Aura to slow down our enemies, to smack them in the face with our hammer, or poke them to death with the Insight. Try to get a 17 Meditation Aura Insight, Ethereal, and Elite. I would suggest a Cryptic Axe or a Thresher, if possible. A Colossus Volge will work too. That's the more common, easier to find one. However, it does have a much higher strength requirement, and obviously if you need that extra strength, you're going to have to use something like Andariel's here. This one has been rolled. It has a very low strength roll. However, it is Eth, and Eth is obviously the preferred type of helmet that we would have with Andariel's. So these two together are fantastic. Increased attack speed, life stolen per hit, and strength are pretty good. Fortitude, that has been ethereal bugged in an Archon plate. Again, try to get as much life per level as you can here. 1.5 per level is the highest. At level 94, I'm getting 117 life, so as you can tell, this is not 1.5, but it's not too terrible either. In terms of what my Paladin is using for equipment, we have the Heart of the Oak in a flail. This is plus 37 resistances. If you can get 40, all the better, but I'd say 35 or higher is probably fine. 40% Magic Find chance cards. We are going to be sitting at 300% Magic Find, and I like to do 300% Magic Find with all of my bots in order to find the maximum number of good items, at least hopefully, if RNG plays in our favor, and that's what we're going to do here. So 40% here. We've got two Bulkathos wedding bands. You could replace these with Wisps or Dwarf Stars or something else that will help your survivability if you need them, if you're getting really trounced because of lightning or fire or anything like that. Feel free to replace these, but I have to tell you that getting almost 50 life per ring is quite good, so we'll leave that up to you guys what you want to do. Arachnid Mesh, really nothing to say there, pretty standard. War Traveler Battle Boots, we're using this for the strength, the vitality, and of course, that 50% better chance of finding magical items. We have a Herald of Zakram shield here. This one's been upgraded. You don't need an upgraded version of this. If you have a normal one, that's perfectly fine. This happens to also have a Burr rune inserted in it. Again, you could run here instead if your resistances are suffering, or even Ist if you're not quite breaking that 300 magic find barrier. We have an Enigma Mage Plate. I do recommend Mage Plate or a Breastplate, whichever one of those that you have available to you, due to the fact that they have a very low strength requirement. That's going to help you a lot in terms of if you die, if you need to recover your body, you're not going to need a ton of strength points in order to make sure that all of your items stay on your character when you pick up your equipment. You have a Shaka with an Ist in it. Again, this could be Bird also, if you want to do 7% Magic Find Charms down below, or however you want to work out your Magic Find amount. Mara's Kaleidoscope, this one's a 29. I would highly recommend you get a 30 instead if you're able to, but 1 point usually isn't going to make too big of a difference. Inventory-wise, this is kind of going to be up to you how you want to do this. If you want to do 7% Magic Find Charms, I've got some 20 life charms because I've already broken the 300% Magic Find with only one 7% Magic Find charm. And of course with my Geeds, we also have some, we've got Anahilus and the Hellfire Torch, as well as some Pecans with life and a couple points into dexterity. Here I would recommend lifers or dexterity. Either one of those is going to be really good. We are going to have to spend a few points into dexterity to get maximum block, and we want to get maximum block. And obviously health is always a good choice no matter what character you pick. So there you go. So that's it for the inventory. Let's take a look at our stat point distribution. Put enough stat points here in order to wear your Enigma, and that's it. Usually you probably won't need to put any stat points here, in all honesty, but if you do, make sure you have enough at least base to wear your Enigma. Dexterity, we only want enough points to get maximum block, so make sure you cast Holy Shield before you check this, and then go in here and look at your defense, and if it says chance to block at 75, you're good to go. If not, put enough points until you are. Vitality, dump the rest of all your points in here. We need to make sure that we have a ton of health so that we can survive Bale and, of course, Chaos. And last but not least, let's take a look at our skill distribution. We're going to put 1 point into Holy Shield, max out Blessed Hammer, and I did put a few points into Holy Bolt. The reason I did this is after I maxed out the rest of all the synergies and my auras that I need, I decided that this is a good choice. And the reason this is a good choice is this skill actually hits Wave 2 Bale immunes. Even though they're immune to magic, this still actually hurts them. So this will help you kill that Wave 2 a lot faster if you're having problems with it. I do highly suggest putting a few points in there if you have extra. Offensive auras, max out Blessed Aim, max out Concentration, and of course max out Vigor, and 1 point into Redemption. That's it for this build, guys. I hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next time.